Man like Robbie, welcome along to MLR Daily. No giant killing yesterday in the game against Millwall when Millwall visited White Hart Lane to take on Spurs. As a matter of fact, they got smashed to pieces. 6-0 victory for Tottenham Hotspur, a hat-trick for Son, very good hat-trick on the day, and also even Janssen got in on the act and got a goal. His first goal from open play since joining Tottenham Hotspur. However, the downside was Harry Kane picked up an ankle injury in the game. They don't know how serious it's going to be yet. They're doing scans on it, but this could be very bad news for Spurs. If it keeps him out for a long period of time, like the ankle injury he had earlier on in the season, it's going to be a big miss. I mean, Son did well. Yes, Janssen getting on the score sheet, but Harry Kane is so integral to everything they do there at Tottenham that will be a major, major loss. And they will be hoping that the scans show that it's not as bad as what they're thinking, but they are fearing the worst. There'll be news on that today. But Harry Kane limping off with the injury, also bad news for England as well, who've got games coming up. Liverpool yesterday, well, listen, we know what they're like against the big teams, and we know what they're like against the small teams. Against the big teams, they're brilliant. Against the small teams, they really struggle. And yet again, they struggled yesterday. They did, however, get over the line, beating Burnley by 2-1, but they went one goal down very early on in the game, fought back to 1-1 at half-time, and then in the second half got the victory for Emre Can. But a difficult day for Liverpool, but a vital 3 points for them in that battle to get into the top four, and they'll be relieved that they got past Burnley. Craig Shakespeare has been appointed as the manager of Leicester City. Now, he was the previous assistant manager to Claudio Ranieri, and there's been a few people sort of, around the scene sort of saying, is this a stab in the back job? Or is this a, he's got the job. He was number 2 and now he's got the job. But listen, he's come in since Ranieri's been sacked. He's turned things around. They've got 2 victories in 2 games, including an excellent one over Liverpool. And the owners of the club have put him in charge until the end of the season. Who knows? If he does a great job, it could be a permanent gig for him. But Craig Shakespeare, the new manager of Leicester City from now until the end of the season. And they've still got a lot of work to do. They're only 3 points above the relegation zone. They do have games in hand, but he still has his work cut out to keep them in this division. A manager that's been sacked for the second time by one club is Steve McLaren. Remember, Steve McLaren used to be England manager, got sacked from then. He was famously labelled the Wally with the brolly. Well, first time round at Derby didn't do too bad. They brought him back to Derby again 5 months ago, and he's already been sacked. Basically, he started off very well in his second run at Derby. But since, recently, 1 victory in the last 9 games, and Derby have decided that enough is enough, and he's out the door. So Steve McLaren, no longer employed. He may struggle to get another job as well because he's picking up a lot of sackings now, sacked by Newcastle as well previous to that. So Steve McLaren, once again, out of work. The big game tonight is Chelsea versus Manchester United. Conte meeting up with Mourinho yet again. They met earlier on in the season, and Conte did a job on Mourinho. And basically, United are going into that game with a bit of a striker crisis. No Zlatan Ibrahimovic because he's out for 3 games of that suspension from the elbow he picked up on Tyrone when he elbowed Tyrone Mings. No Rooney. He picked up an injury in training, so Rooney's out of the game. No Martial and no Rashford. Both of those are ill. They've got an illness at the moment, which means that Manchester United are probably going to have to go for their secret weapon. Well, not so secret weapon. Their warhead, should I say, which is Marion Fellaini, the battering ram up front. No doubt he'll be thrown in to take up that striker's role. So expects lots of physicality and elbows tonight. But it's a big blow to Manchester United. They really want to obviously get through this round, and it's going to be a tough game against Chelsea. The one thing that Chelsea have, as we've been talking about, they don't have any other distractions apart from the league, so they can go full pelt at this. So they'll put out a very strong team. And, if you're talking about who's going to win the game, you really got to go with Chelsea winning this game, especially with United missing all 4 of their strikers, all good strikers, and they can't call on one of them. So big game tonight. I'm edging towards Chelsea at the moment, and of course there's going to be the FA Cup semi-final draw, the semi-finals which will be played at Wembley, and it's all about the big boys. Obviously there's going to be one of them, either Manchester United or Chelsea, who get through, and they're going to meet either Arsenal, Tottenham or Manchester City in the semi-final. So exciting times. It's going to be an exciting draw later on to see who gets who, and it's going to be whatever way it turns out, it's going to be a mega final. So I'm sure the organisers of the FA Cup are really happy. Thanks for watching the show today. We'll be back with MLR Daily tomorrow, coming from Cheltenham tomorrow, so look out for that.
Man like Robbie.